Imagine an endless savanna where the air trembles with heat and the crowns of the baobabs seem like frozen giants. There, in the shade of a spreading tree, a man from the Hadza tribe is sleeping. He's not lazy or sick. He's simply finished his tasks for the day. While the rest of the world is drowning in notifications and endless to-do lists, this hunter lives at a pace that has been the only true one for our species for 300,000 years. The Hadza are not just a backward tribe. They are our mirror. They are among the last guardians of the original human being.
Scientists who have studied their lives for decades come to the same shocking conclusion. These people look and feel much happier than you and I. In our culture, productivity is elevated to a cult. We're used to measuring success by the number of hours worked. But let's turn to the hard numbers of anthropology. Productivity standard. In 1968, anthropologist Richard Lee published data on the lives of the Kung Bushmen in the Kalahari Desert. He recorded every minute of their activity and found that it took them about 15 hours to provide for themselves. Not per day, but per week. Daily rhythm. This means that ancient humans worked an average of 2.5 hours per day.
This includes everything from tool making, hunting, gathering, and cooking. Freedom from deadlines. The Hadza don't have a concept of time as a linear resource to be spent. They were never told they had to be in a certain place at a strictly designated time. For most of us, 2.5 hours of work is just the time until our first coffee break. But for them, it's the price of a full, free life. How does the day begin for someone without an alarm clock? You wake to the sky brightening, and the air around you begins to move with the movement of the camp. You sleep on a skin thrown directly onto the grass, and all your belongings, a bow, a digging stick, and a few pieces of jewelry, fit into a single bag. The first waking hour in camp is the time for the most important process, conversation. Anthropologist Polly Wiessner calls this the operating system of society. This isn't just gossip. People discuss who acted selfishly, who made a clever joke, and who seems suspiciously quiet and perhaps sick. Justice through words. In a world without prisons and police, order is maintained by public opinion. If someone breaks the rules or is greedy, all the camps in the area know about it within hours. Capital punishment. The most terrible punishment for a hunter-gatherer isn't a fine, but exile, when no camp will accept you. One of the most striking features of ancient societies is their aggressive equality. In the Kung tribe, no one has the right to feel superior to anyone else. Richard Lee learned how this works firsthand. When he decided to give the tribe a huge fat bowl for Christmas, he expected gratitude. Instead, the hunters mocked his gift for weeks, calling the bowl a bony sack and the meat disgusting. An elder later explained the essence of this ritual. When a hunter brings back a large kill, we mock him. The larger the kill, the greater the mockery. This is done to prevent pride from developing, which can destroy peace in the camp. In their world, every whisper, every joke is a tool that keeps people equal. There's a popular myth that a tribe's survival depends solely on a successful hunter, but the reality described by Marlowe is different. Hunting is a game of chance, where losing is more common than winning. The unreliability of men. The Hadza can travel 30 kilometers, track a wounded giraffe for hours, and return to camp empty-handed. The stability of women. Women provide more than half of the group's calories. They go out daily to forage for berries, roots, and tubers, food that doesn't run away and isn't dependent on luck. The grandmother phenomenon. The most effective foragers are women aged 50 to 60. They bring back more food than young mothers. Anthropologists call this the grandmother hypothesis. It is thanks to their labor that humanity as a species has been able to survive and develop. In the modern world, education is an institutional process. Desks, textbooks, tests, and strict teachers.
But for Hadza societies, children spend almost all their time in mixed age groups where learning occurs organically. Learning through play. A 3-year-old Hadza girl plays with a small digging stick next to her mother, mimicking her movements. Early competence. By age 6, the child is already able to find food independently.
By the age of 10, children become full participants in the family economy. Independence of boys. An 8-year-old tribal boy can leave camp alone with a bow and return with a hunted bird. This is considered normal development for his age. Horizontal learning. There are no adult supervisors in these groups. Older children watch over the younger ones. If someone falls or asks a question, help and answers come from a peer or sibling, not a parent. This is the natural learning environment for which our brains have evolved for hundreds of thousands of years, through observation, copying, and immediate application of skills in real life. When noon arrives and the first meal returns to camp, the rule that literally created us as a species takes effect. Sharing food is not an act of charity. It is a strict, unbreakable law. Meat does not belong to the hunter. If a man kills a large animal, he has no property rights to it. He is obligated to distribute it among all members of the camp. Paradox of luck. The hunter often receives one of the worst parts of the carcass, while the best cuts are shared among the community. Biological stimulus. Anthropologists believe that it was the need to keep track of social arithmetic, to remember who gave you food yesterday, who saved, and who helped you in times of need, that drove the brains of our ancestors to grow. Investment in the future. Generosity here is not just a character trait, but a kind of insurance policy or savings account. By giving today, you ensure you'll be fed tomorrow. After lunch, life in the camp comes to a standstill due to the heat. No one works for the sake of work. This time is dedicated to the body and social connections, physical intimacy. People rest in the shade, repair arrows, or weave baskets. Picking insects from each other's hair is a popular pastime. It may seem unpleasant, but for them, it's an hour of tenderness and a way to be physically close to loved ones. Attitude to nature. These cultures don't have a complex system of shame surrounding natural processes. Whether it's hygiene, menstruation, or sex, everything is accepted as part of life, without the heavy taboos inherent in modern society. Conflict resolution mechanism: how to resolve disputes without courts and the police. In a culture where all possessions fit in one bag, voting with your feet has become the most effective tool. Temporary migration. When a conflict breaks out between people, due to jealousy or old grievances, one party simply moves to the other side for a couple of weeks. By the time the person returns, the conflict has usually died down. For us, tied down by mortgages and long-term contracts, such freedom of movement seems unthinkable. By evening, the camp reunites. The hunters return, often empty-handed, and the women once again become the unspoken heroes of the day, providing everyone with food. A communal meal around the fire begins, a ritual that has been repeated without fail for 300,000 years. This is no paradise on Earth. Ancient people also get sick, mourn loved ones, and experience tragedies, but they don't know the specific modern kind of suffering, the slow pain of meaningless work for a life that never arrives. In the late 1960s, anthropologists called these people the original affluent society. They didn't have things, but they had time. We made a deal and got our bonuses. Medicine and comfort. Vaccines, antibiotics, running water, and a reduction in child mortality. Previously, 4 out of 10 children under 5 died, are our real victories. The price of victory? Along with progress, we invented agriculture, bosses, accounts, and work that belongs not to us, but to someone else. We inherited the same bodies and the same nervous systems as the Hadza people. We still need sunlight, sleep, touch, long conversations, and the right to sometimes just do nothing. We are still hunter-gatherers in the depths.